welcome to Baby Witch. This is going to be a tarot reading for Capricorn for December 2022, okay? So, let's see what is in storage this month of December for Capricorn. It's a lot of messages for you, Capricorn. A lot of major arcanas. So, first things first, I'm the realist. Seems like what at once we were very driven to do, we're no longer. We lost sight of what's important, and the things that we're doing now, that drive that we feel, it's more of an ego drive. It's more of a fictitious drive that we tell ourselves that we have, but the reality is that we are all over the place. We are no longer actually taking the actions necessary anymore. There's this thing, this reminded me of something that I heard. It's something that doctors experience, a psychological phenomenon, where a doctor will stop consulting its book because it feels like it already knows everything by the book. So a patient comes in and the patient is like, well, I have this symptom and that symptom. And instead of the doctor doing what it has to do, because, you know, it's this ego drive and running tests and doing this and doing that, he goes, oh no, you have this. You're going to take this medication. Come back in 2 weeks. That's a very common mistake. And that is kind of what the energy of this is telling us. We're losing the momentum and no longer doing the things that are important for us. So what do we have after that? We have the Hangman. The Hangman, that's the definitely regain perspective. Something have gone south and you need to regain perspective. Do you feel, Capricorn, that things are going on hold for you? Is that what makes you want to push a little more? Or do you feel like you're just stagnant on something? Like you've lost, because this card also talks about being too stuck in a routine, right? Too stuck in a routine. Why do I feel stuck in a routine? Why do I start to feel in this hamster wheel? Well, think about it. Are you losing sight of traditions? Are you losing sight of working a program or working a doctrine or working a spiritual routine that once worked for you? Because this is the card that invites you to be a part of it. This is the card that invites you to reinvent and reconnect to that part of yourself that you call traditional, that you call spiritual. Whether it is your marriage, whether this card, Capricorn, is telling you to look at your marriage again. If you have a traditional kind of marriage, even if you don't, it still falls for this doctrine. Or it's telling you, like, have you not been going to your coven, to your church, to your synagogue, wherever it is that you go and get your spirituality from. Anything that bonds you spiritually, which that includes marriage. Because marriage is a spiritual bond, right, between two people, a love bond. Work. It kind of falls into work, this card too. It kind of falls into work. And if it was to be falling into work, if you're like, well, I kind of feel like this is for my job, you know, well, that means that you need to start following the rules again. That means that you're falling off the rules too much. Like if you're coming into this reading and you're like, well, I'm more worried about like my job stuff. That's why I'm looking at this reading. It's a general reading, but I feel like that's going to resonate with me. So this is more of like, you're not really following all the small little rules that you need to be following. So once we go through this, we fall into a place of more awareness. Holy shit, I do need to start regaining a balance of my material realm. My material realm seems all over the place and my spiritual realm seems all over the place. So how am I going to start getting them both together? That's what this Two of Coins symbolizes. It's trying to juggle these things. And remember, there's something very cool that I heard the other day in therapy, where one of the therapists was, he said, you know, we're all jugglers, right? Juggling all these balls at once. But some of these balls are crystal balls. Some of them are rubber. If they fall, they bounce back. Just like these little coins that he has down here. Let's say one of them is made out of crystal and one of them is made out of rubber. While you're juggling all this stuff, those crystal balls are the ones that you really have to take care of, because if you don't, you can't glue them back together. So prioritize in your life those things that you cannot bounce back from as easy. For some of us, that means the spiritual stuff. For some of us, that means the job stuff. For some of us, that means the career, the love life. It all depends where your values stand at in this moment of your life and what's important for you, right? But we start realizing that at least. It brings some self-awareness into the whole fucking thing. This card now calls you to start believing in your strength. This card is like, start believing that you can do this. You already do, because if not, this card will be upside down. You already do. A part of you is like, oh wait, holy shit, what did I do? Oh fuck, okay, yeah. No, yeah, I was definitely not doing that right for a second, you know, or accurately for a second. But I will now, I got this. And then you're like, okay, start juggling everything that I have, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, the Temperance card comes in. The Temperance card comes in, it's like an angelical upside down devil card, which talks about if we were having any toxic stuff coming up, if we were having any moderation that needed to be applied into our life, into certain things. Moderation. We start applying that and we're like, well, maybe if I go to my doctrine or my coven, or if I just pray in the morning, or if I just meditate on the bus on my way to work, or if I just, do this, or, if I start going to bed a little bit earlier, I can go to the gym, because that also falls into spirituality and doctrine, right? It's the gym. You're taking care of yourself. You're building a structure. It's a community. It's a community that you want to be a part of. It's a community that you're leaving behind. And by leaving this community behind, you're leaving yourself behind. So you start kind of juggling where all these things are going to fit into your life, right? And then you're like, well, if I stop drinking, maybe for like a couple months, I can refocus. Or if I stop smoking pot, I'm able to refocus. If I stop going on Grindr or on Tinder, for the next couple of months, just while I can regain my structure and make myself a part of this community that gives me so much. And then it comes the balancing part. Well, maybe I don't want to fully stop going on Tinder. I'm having fun dating right now. I'm at that part of my life. I got my shit together. Okay, so maybe I will have a date night. Maybe Sundays will be my date night. And, I won't go on the app like every time I get a message. I'll go on the app twice a day. So, along the lines, and apply that, the whole going in the app thing, Tinder thing, or Grindr thing, or whatever it is, to any kind of aspect of your life. What is it that is stopping you from getting there? What is it that is stopping you from regaining your spiritual structure? Spiritual structure is kind of the keyword to this kind of thing. And remember, spirituality I can go jogging in the mornings, and that's part of my spirituality. Why? Because it's self-love. I'm taking care of that thing that tells me that I have a really ugly fat body. I'm also breathing, doing breath work. I'm also enjoying myself. I'm fall into the moment because I need to know where I'm going. I'm aware of my surroundings. It's a meditation form for me. It's a spirituality. It could be in all kinds of ways. So once we start creating that moderation in our lives, start mixing what we have, working with what we have, is this card, working with what we have and not going to the extremes. Then we fall into these two cards right here. We fall into these two cards right here, okay? So remember, this is a forecast for December. This can go any way you fucking want it. You could be going through, realizing that you're all over the place, that you're not doing the things you need to be taking care of doing, and that everything is on hold for a second. But you may want to keep it like that the whole month. That's completely up to you. You may get to the part where you're like, oh, there is this doctrine, this community, this spiritual connection, this spiritual practice, this tradition, this something that I do that really makes me want to feel alive. And then you just bounce back completely back into it, and then you stop doing everything else that you like doing, and you didn't really fell into the whole balance process and believing that you have the strength to do what it is that you have to do. Maybe you left it right there, which probably, and from my understanding, can make you bounce right back to being all over the place because you stop doing yourself and you do yourself to this doctrine. It's becoming from a spiritual person to a spiritual fanatic, right? So you could be at any point of all this. And you could choose to go back and forth, to go here, to go there, to flip it over, to start smoking fucking crack for all I care. I mean, my thing was math, but you know. And then next thing you know, this whole thing falls apart and it's different. So your destiny is up to you. That's where I'm getting with this. You write your fucking story. The cards don't. The cards reflect your story at the time being. And this is a general statement for people that fall under the sign of Capricorn. So after that, this is like a hopeless romantic. You know, you start seeing life so much differently. Like, this guy is all about being led with his emotions. He's a bit high up on the sky when it comes down. He's kind of in a pink cloud. On a pink cloud, and this pink cloud allows you to see things different, allows you to find inspiration in different places. It's almost like you become a little like dreamy, like, you know, like it's just like, because this Knight of Cups is like, he talks about love, honey. He talks about love. He talks about romanticism. He talks about that romantic side of life. 1515 in my video when I say romanticism. Go Google what 1515 means. The video's not 15 minutes long, as I'm gonna edit it after, but you know. And this talks about finding inspiration in the most weird of places, like truly finding inspiration and finding motivation. Why? Because we're looking at life in such a positive way. It's hard not to. It's hard not to at that point. So where do we go from there? We start realizing that things weren't really that bad, and we might have fucked a couple things over on the way there, but we take a chance. We take a chance to say, I can do this. And it's almost like you've been here before. It feels like you've been here before, because if you're all over the place with things that you were once doing, that means that you were once doing those things, right? And you're trying to get back into that. You're trying to fall back into your routine. You know, there's your spirituality, balancing your job and your home and your family and your career, or your school and your love life, or all of them together at once. You know, you're trying to make that all smash into place, because you feel like it's kind of everywhere. You know, you start finding the balance in between things. You know, am I spending too much time at the casino? Am I spending too much time at the bar with friends, at Kava Collective? You know, things like that. At Kava Collective, it's a place that I like to go to. And so then you start finding the balance between all of that. See, none of it here is too good or too bad. The worst thing in here is that your actions all over the place, and life has to put a hold on you, right? So you might get sick or something like that, and you know, get a flu, or you know, fall and you know, twist your ankle or something, and you're like, why the fuck is life doing this to me? You know, or all your friends all of a sudden don't want to hang out, or you know, things like that, and that's life putting a hold on you, right? And you're like, why is this happening? Because life is like, well, because we want you to get back on track, and we feel that if we put a hold on everything else, you make it the fucking point, you know. So right after the whole pink cloud and stuff, we're like, okay, I can see things getting better. You know what? I'm gonna go at it again. I got this. You start taking new chances on yourself. Maybe you take a little more chance than you did before. Maybe you get another load of school. Maybe you get more responsibility at work. You know, maybe you start adding more stuff to your diet and exercise, or you start getting a little more hardcore with your meditating, or you start participating at church instead of just going to church, or you want to open up your own coven because you don't like the one you're in anymore, or whatever it is. You want to start your own altars, you know, and satanic rituals on your own, and just do something bigger. That's where I'm going for. It's something bigger than you were already doing, because once you realize that, you find the balance. Because you fell out of balance of something that you've achieved, right? Your life was balanced out, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this. This is the old leap of faith, right? And then you're like, fuck, this shit is fucked up, man. I fucked up. Oh shit, let me regain control of this. And once you regain, not once you regain control. Once you fall back into the flow of these things, then you're like, oh, this is easy. Okay, I got this. I don't have to fuck this up again. Because I didn't fuck it up the first time. It just kind of got a little messy. So I'm gonna go and fall back, and I'm gonna add things to myself, because I feel like I got this. Now, how that's gonna go after that, that's gonna be for the next month or another reading, honey, because that's all I got for you today. I love you guys. And remember, the universe is on your side, and you write your own damn story.
Chitches got red.